Hello, it's Suzanne Cotton Studio here again for another Mindful Monday making session. And this week, considering it's Halloween, I thought we'd have a bit of fun and create one of these spooky lanterns. It's just made out of watercolour paper, and I've painted the design on top, and I've punched some holes into the paper to let some of the light shine through. So I'm not recommending that you use this with a normal flammable candle, obviously. You could use like one of the LED candles that you can get hold of, or even a little torch light if you wanted to put that inside it, or some fairy lights. Just have a think about what you've got at home. So I'm going to start off by mapping out the design on my paper with a pencil. I'm just going to draw a ghost on there, and I've obviously done this before, so I've created one earlier, so I know kind of what I've got an idea of what the design's going to look like and what's going to go on it, so I'm just going to repeat that again. So I've got a ghost on there, I've got a little bat that I'm drawing now, I'm going to draw a cat. I'm going to write the word boo. So it's up to you how you want your design to look. You can keep it as simple or make it more complex if you wanted to. Just go wild with your creativity. So the paper, as I said, is watercolour paper that I'm using, but it's quite a thin watercolour paper. I think it's about 180 GSM. And the reason I'm using a thinner paper is just so that the light will shine through it a bit easier when you put the torch or the LED candle inside it. I'm also going to punch some holes through at the end just to let a little bit of light shine through. Just thought that would be quite nice. So yeah, I'm just drawing out my design. The size of the paper that I'm using as well. This one, it's just an offcut from a watercolour pad that I've used for something else. So I think the size of this is about 8 centimetres high by about 26 centimetres long. But you can experiment, just use what you've got. If you don't have watercolour paper, try on a bit of card. You can colour it with colouring pencils or marker pens or whatever you've got handy. Don't feel like you have to rush out and buy watercolours or gouache paints that I'm going to use. It's nice if you have those things, but it's not absolutely necessary. So I'm just drawing a cat. You can really have fun with the designs like I've done. Really enjoy kind of mapping things out like this and figuring out where things are going to go and getting a good balance for the design. So yeah, there's no rush for this bit. It's all about mindful making and just really having fun with it. And there's no pressure to having to create a masterpiece here. So don't worry if you have to rub things out and draw them again. I do that lots of times just to get it right. I'm just drawing some little whiskers on the cat and some legs now. Want to try and make him look like he's had a bit of a shock and he's a bit spooked. That's why I've kind of made his back so arched. So I think the cat's just about coming together now. I know you probably can't see very well because it's quite faint when you draw in the pencil, but once I start adding the paint then you'll be able to see him a bit more. I think I'll just pop a bone in between the ghost and the cat, just because there's a bit of a big gap there. I thought that might look quite nice. So next to the cat, I think I'm just going to make his back a bit more arched. Yep. Okay, I think he's just about done. Okay, so next to the cat, I'm going to put a pumpkin. And I'm deliberately kind of adding a pumpkin next to the cat because the cat's going to be black, the pumpkin's going to be orange. I'm going to keep the colours really, really simple and just use two. I'm just literally using orange and black. Again, you can use whatever colours you want to, but sometimes I just find, especially with something like this, the simpler the better. And so I thought if I had an orange item next to a black item, that might kind of help with the balance of the overall design. So I'll just draw a really simple pumpkin and give it some lines just to add a little bit of texture. And I might actually do the like have two colours of orange, have like a lighter colour and a darker colour of orange when I do that. Okay, so next to the pumpkin, on this other side, I'm gonna add in like a bird, I think, like a crow or something, and some fish skeletons. I think on the first design I added a candle, like a dripping waxy candle, but I didn't really like that very much. So I'm going to just tweak this design slightly. I'm going to take out the candle, add kind of like a menacing crow looking like bird, and a couple of like fish skeletons or something like that. I mean, you could add anything you wanted to. You could put a witch's hat, you could put a full-on skeleton or a skull, crossbones, whatever you wanted to do, whatever Halloween means to you. But I just want to keep it nice and fun and upbeat. Okay, so in this other top corner, I'm going to draw a spider's web. I've just speeded the video up a little bit here. I really like the spider's web on the first design that I'd done, so I'm going to keep that. I'm just going to sit the spider on top of the pumpkin, but still inside the spider's web. And to actually make it so that because when you curve the piece of paper round to form the lantern shape, I wanted it to kind of continue on, so it's like a continuous design, so there's not kind of like two separate designs when you stick the sides together. So I'm going to continue this spider's web design on the other side, so it kind of just curves round and you don't notice as much of a join, if that makes sense. Just popping my spider on top of the pumpkin here, give him some legs, giving him some fangs and some eyes, a little smile, make him a cute spider. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to come to so you can see when I curve it round, if you kind of just hold it in shape while you just get an idea of where the lines and the marks need to come to on the other side of the piece of paper, and then you can just roughly draw them in. You can mark out where the join's going to be, and then you can mark the lines in. So I'm going to have like a spider's web and that menacing looking crow on that side. So I think a bit of the crow's tail will need to go onto the other side, and some of the cobweb will need to go onto that other side as well, if that makes sense. Probably not, but you can kind of get a gist of what I'm doing. I mean, if you didn't want to continue the design, you could just kind of have gaps and just have like maybe 3 objects on your lantern. You could have kind of a cat or a pumpkin or a witch's hat, and just leave a gap so you don't have to it's not as complicated as joining the 2 sides. Whatever works for you. Okay, I think that's about right. So I think I'm almost ready now, really, to start adding some colour in. Just going to make that ghost a little bit bigger than it was. I think it was a bit flat and squished before. And then I think I'll just add a little baby spider in this corner. Okay. Yep, I think I'm almost there. Okay, so these are the gouache paints that I'm going to use. Gouache normally comes in tubes like this, but I managed to find this set of pans, and I really, really like it actually. It's a cran dash set, and you can mix so many different colours from it. I really like the kind of consistency of the colours and the way they go on. I just really enjoy using it. So that's my choice of paint for today. But as I say, you can use anything that you want to. You can use marker pens if you wanted. You could just do it in a fine liner, black fine liner pen, or even a biro, whatever you've got to hand. So I'm going to start on the ghost right in the middle, and I'm going to outline him in black. Just give him some definition. Okay. Again, you can just have loads of fun here. Just enjoy using the paint. You know, don't worry too much about getting it all perfect. It's about the process, and it's about enjoying what you're doing and having fun. And it's all mindful. It's a really good, really great for your mental health, and it's just really relaxing. I find it anyway. Please don't feel like stressed by doing anything like this. Just take it kind of not so seriously, and as I keep saying, just have fun with it. Okay, so there's Mr. Ghosty just about done. And then I'm going to start on the cat next. So he's got that really kind of big arch in his back, and his tail's curled round. So he's obviously had a fright. He's seen something that he doesn't quite like. So I guess it is Halloween this week, so something spooked him. You know, your imagination can go wild with this. Just make up loads of stories about the characters that you're drawing and painting, and yeah, just create that narrative as you're going along. It just makes it so much more fun. Okay, so just speeded the video up a little bit here. Just going to fill the cat in. I don't normally work as quick as this, but just while I'm filling these bits in, these detail bits do take quite a bit of time. I'm using quite a fine brush. Just prefer that really to get those details. When I'm doing the bigger areas, I might switch to a bigger brush. Okay, so I'm gonna now add the writing, and I'm gonna paint on boo. I think on my first design I added 2 words. I had boo and I had spooky, but with this one I've just kind of changed the design because I'm not adding a couple of elements in like the candle, so it kind of just fitted right with just 1 word. And I'm going to sit this boo just under my bat's wing, and it just kind of makes it really, it fits really well with the bat's wing basically, as you'll see when I start painting the bat in. So I'm going to do the boo in orange, and inside each O I'm going to use those as kind of big eyes basically, and just put some pupils in the middle in black. Okay, so there's my boo just about done for now. I will go back to it and add the eyes in. So I'm just using a rubber to rub out some really kind of defined pencil marks, especially where the orange colour is going to go on the pumpkin. So it doesn't really matter so much about rubbing your pencil markings out with the black, because the black will cover them, but with the orange, it won't cover as well. So that's why I'm doing that. And I'm just using kind of a fan brush just to flick any of the rubber kind of residue away from the design. So just filling in with the orange. As I said, I'm leaving some structural lines in there, and I'm gonna, when that's dried a bit, I will go back and use kind of a lighter orange. Okay, so next up is the bat, and as you can see, I'm just painting his face in. Again, I make everything cute, so I'm definitely making this bat cute. Give him a little smiley face, 2 little eyes, some batty ears, maybe some fangs, and as I say, when I did the boo, I am going to use the shape of the letters just to kind of enhance the bat's wings. So the shape of the wing will just go right over the boo. If that makes sense. So when I'm designing anything, I quite like things to touch, if that makes sense. So one object kind of touches another, and another. So I've done that with this. The bat's wings touching the ghost is touching the cat is more or less touching the pumpkin. So everything kind of is related to everything else. I think it's just my style, to be honest. It's just something I've always done, and I just quite like working like that. But as I say, you can leave gaps. You don't have to have everything touching. You can just have 3 objects on there if you wanted, or even 1 or 2. Whatever you want to do. Okay, so I'm just painting in his other wing. Just leaving a few white gaps in the wings just to show kind of the structure. And then underneath the bat, I'm going to do a couple of fishy skeletons. Try and make them look a bit menacing if I can. Not quite sure how to do that, but I'll give it a go. Definitely want to make the bird and the crow look menacing, kind of like he's looking down on the fishy skeletons, and he's just kind of finished his meal and he's quite satisfied. Okay, so on now to the spider's web, which I'm going to do in black in the corner, just above the pumpkin. So I'll start right at the top. I'll just create the web first. I'll disregard the spider for now. He's still there, I can see him, but I'm just going to paint the web in first. Okay, so I've done that corner. I'm moving on to the other side and just going to finish off that web. Remember earlier I marked where the web is going to join on the other side of the piece of paper. So it's kind of one continuous design. It's looking like it's coming together really well. I can't wait to see the finished result. I'm going to add my spider in. Again, make him look as cute as I can. And he's going to sit atop the pumpkin stalk. He's on the web too, but he's kind of balancing on the stalk of the pumpkin. Let's finish the web on this other side now. Paint the baby spider as well. And I'm gonna use orange now just to make another fishy skeleton under the black crow. He's had a good feast by the looks of it. Just the last little bit, I'm going to add in, last few bits now. I'm going to just use my rubber just to rub out a few pencil markings that have gone over the paint. And I'm going to add in that orange bone in that gap between the ghost and the cat, which will just give the piece a bit more balance. Kind of even out the black and the orange colours. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay. And what's next? Yeah, I know what's next. I'm going to use a little bit of orange and paint in some spooky eyes on everything. So on the cat, got some orange pupils, and definitely on the bat. And maybe on the crow as well. So rub out that pencil mark first. Yeah, so everything's looking a bit more spooky. Having lots of fun. Thought lots of stories for all the characters as I've been painting them. Okay. So I think we might be almost done. Just rub out a few more marks that are showing. Just make sure if you do use the rubber over the paint that the paint is dry. The gouache dries really quickly actually, and it doesn't seem to smudge even if it's not 100% dry, which is great when you're using the rubber. Okay, just perfecting the last few bits now. Just adding a little bit of lighter orange onto the pumpkin, adding the eyes. Okay. And then I'm just going to bend it round on itself now and just check the edges are going to match together. So you can see I just need to add a little bit on for the bird's tail and the cobweb. So it just kind of flows a bit better and you kind of don't notice the seam as much. Okay, it's looking good. Yep, I think we're just about done. So the next step is to punch some holes, or you could use a knife and cut out some stars or shapes if you wanted to. It doesn't have to be done with a hole punch. Okay, so I purposely left a little bit of the design blank at the top so I could punch these holes. So I've got a couple of different size hole punches here. So that's what I've used on this. And as I say, it just will let the light just shine through really well. Just do one more. 2 more. And then, yeah, I think I'm done. So I'm going to join the sides together now with some double-sided tape. You can use Pritt Stick or some PVA if you prefer. If you didn't have the double-sided, I just find the double-sided a bit easier. So I'm just going to peel that off. And then stick the ends together. There's around about a 5mm overlap, just so that you can get those edges stuck nicely together. And yep, I think that's it. Looking good. And just to show you what a light looks like inside it, I've got one of these like little torch lights from IKEA that are designed to go inside a wardrobe to see your clothes in the dark, I think. But I just thought that would be a good way of showing you how the light shines through. So here's the torch, and it's just like a press torch, but you could use like an LED candle or some fairy lights even if you have them, and it just sits nicely inside it. I'll turn the light off so you might be able to see it a little bit better, and just turn it at an angle just so you can see the light just comes through those holes. And when it's really dark, I think it would look great, especially if you popped it on your fireplace or as part of your Halloween decor in your living room or on a windowsill. There we are. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I've really enjoyed working on this project. I've had lots of fun, and I will see you again next time for some more mindful Monday making.